Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. Boxing Day test match between Pakistan versus New Zealand and Australia and South Africa. Uh, I have with me my co-host. I think he stuck a bit because of the action that we witnessed today. But hopefully we'll get him back. But yeah, coming to the Boxing Day test match between Pakistan and New Zealand and South Africa and Australia. We start off with Australia and South Africa. What a day it has been at the MCG. The pitch did not look as dangerous as we saw at the Gabba at Brisbane. जिस तरीके से pitch a weird bounce हो रही थी, an awkward swing हो रही थी, which made life difficult for the South African batting. But आज ऐसा लगा कि it was a bit more timid. It was more controllable when you compare it to a Gabba. And the South African batsmen just lacked the ability to bat out. Australian bowlers had to sort of make a more use, bowl a little bit more controlled manner, and had were not getting a lot of pitches as they were when you compare it to the Gabba. But yeah, overall the situation doesn't look that great for South Africa का भी 189 all out हो चुके हैं. Initially they started with Dean Elgar and Cyril Irby, which was looking all right despite काफी chances drop करे ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने in the initial thing. 29 तक 10 ओवर में 29 मारते मारते बचते बचते आए हैं Dean Elgar, and then suddenly we see that the Australia start to strike with the likes of Boland again taking catches, Boland taking wickets, Green taking a fifer. Cameron Green really stood out today. आज बेहतरीन bowling डाली Cameron Green. I think मुंबई इंडियंस का जो हम लोग बोल रहे थे कि 17 करोड़ का जो उनको लॉटरी लग गई, लॉटरी तो नहीं बोलेंगे लेकिन जो तरीके का उनको न्यूज मिला था उसके वजह से ही इज रियली स्विंगिंग थिंग्स बैक इनटू एक्शन. मिचेल स्टार्क आल्सो वाज लुकिंग गुड, बट देन एक इंजरी हो गई थी उनको बीच में. उंगली पकड़ के he left the pitch holding his finger, but nothing too serious at this point of time that has been reported. So 189. The only standout was the partnership between Kyle Varane and Marco Jansen. Marco Jansen being dropped, if you remember, on 37, I think, to Usman Khawaja. Apart from that, nobody stood out. The bowling was disciplined. Australia really looked threatening, but not. Also, we're not going to blame the pitch over here. It's just because of the sheer poor batting from the South African side. Yeah, but South Africa has been in disaster. We have been saying this. A lot of people did question कि भाई ये लोग गैबा में इतने तकलीफों से खेले, probably pitch को बोल सकते हैं, but यहाँ पे आज completely bamboozled by Australia's bowling and also just did not turn up. I was expecting a lot from Dean Elgar, Temba Bavuma, and all of these guys to step up, but the only person who stood up in the last match as well, अगर हम देखें तो, was Varane. Varane again hitting a good 50, a composed innings. But got sucked in by Cameron Green sucked him into coming outside and putting the shot and giving a catch to Steve Smith in slip. Marco Jansen, despite the life, he made use of it. 37 pe he was dropped by Usman Khawaja, but he made a lot of use to that chance that he was given, and he completed his maiden 50, which was a milestone for him. And it was a very crucial innings that actually took South Africa par 100, you could say. एक टाइम पे ऐसा लगा कि भाई 90-80 ऑल आउट हो जा सकते हैं साउथ अफ्रीका, बट वो केस नहीं हुआ luckily because of this partnership. 100 and I think 179 for 6 थे साउथ अफ्रीका, and they got out all out 189. तो आप ये देख लो कि भाई 10 रन के अंदर 4 विकेट गए, उनकी टेल सर्वाइव ही नहीं कर पाई. केशव महाराज, रबाडा, नौतखिया, इंगीडी पूरे, अधिक नौतखिया के अलावा पूरे ऑल आउट हो गए हैं. So yeah, within 10 runs they lost 4 wickets. That only shows you कि भाई ये टीम कितनी प्रॉब्लम है in terms of batting. I think उन लोगों को थोड़ा और work करना पड़ेगा. They need to find, I think Riley Rousseau should come back in the squad. I know he's not a very test cricket kind of player, but he is in form. David Miller एक और option हो गया आपके लिए. I think they need to start finding certain more players with the domestic leagues around South Africa. That will be happening soon. I know T20 is not the right way to look for Test cricket, but this team is in shambles right now for me. But yeah, apart from that, bowling, like I mentioned, Cameron Green stood out. Nathan Lyon not so effective today. Marco Jansen and Varane actually played him quite well, but he did get one wicket of Keshav Maharaj. Then Pat Cummins just bowled out his innings. He did not get any wicket. Scott Boland फिर फर्स्ट ओवर में विकेट लिया, जिसमें मैं बोलते जा रहा हूँ कि भाई ये आदमी में कुछ कंत्रीपना है कि उन्हें अपने फर्स्ट ओवर में हमेशा विकेट ले लेते जाता है. And yeah, he managed to take a wicket in his first over, and that too off Cyril Irby. He was caught by Khwaja. I have back. Hopefully मुस्तफा भाई आ चुके हैं हमारे साथ वापस. बेचारे काफी कष्ट टेक्नोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स आजकल चल रहे. But yeah, hopefully, Mustafa, how did you see the South Africa versus Australia? I was discussing that because वो सबसे पहले वाला मैच था. So I said we start off with South Africa, Australia. We saw that the pitch was not as threatening as the Gabba. This was a more controlled, you could say कि आप इस पे बैटिंग कर सकते थे, ऐसा नहीं है. तो do you blame any part of the pitch or do you blame it's completely South Africa's problem? I can't hear you. I think no, you're not on mute. I think
I'll come back.
आगे 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 से something. अरे आगे क्या एकदम. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
आ रही आवाज?
आ रही. पक्का अब जा रही है, आ रही है जा रही है. ठीक है, आप अपना सेटअप करके आ जाइए. आ रही है जा रही है बिल्कुल जैसे साउथ अफ्रीका के बैट्समैन आ रहे जा रहे थे. वैसा ही मुस्तफा भाई की आवाज आ रही जा रही है. बट या आई मीन मैं वही बता रहा था जैसे आपको कि भाई साउथ अफ्रीका बहुत बड़ी मुसीबत में दिख रही है. कुछ करना पड़ेगा उनको. ये दे हैव टू टेक अ वेरी बिग कॉल. डीन एल्गर had mentioned in the beginning of the series, I will take the responsibility of sort of making the runs, but वो हो रहा नहीं उनसे. He's getting out in a silly manner, a silly fashion. Labuschagne had really made some noise today in the field. Labuschagne ने बेहतरीन एक रन आउट करा था. आई थिंक डीन एल्गर का ही रन आउट था वो. जो उन्होंने ही वाज क्विक ऑन टू द बॉल. उन्होंने बॉल जाके ही डायरेक्ट थ्रो मारा एंड डीन एल्गर भी आउट हो गए. और फिर वो बेहतरीन कैच जोंडो को डिसमिस करने के लिए जो जोंडो का कैच पकड़ा था उन्होंने. बेहतरीन लीप थी, बेहतरीन डाइविंग टू फॉरवर्ड कैच. I think अगर आप लोग वो मिस कर चुके हैं तो I would definitely recommend you guys to go and watch that. That was a peach of a catch and I think Labuschagne completely phenomenal in the field. अगर हम बात करते हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया की पारी की, जो बहुत कम पारी थी आज, उनको 12 ओवर ही खेले थे, बट उसमें मेरी आवाज आपके पास है. या आई थिंक मेरे तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आई होप मेरे तरफ से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आई थिंक आप जाके चेक कर सकते हो यूट्यूब पे. इफ मेरे तरफ से है तो आप मेरे को बोल सकते हो, बट मेरे को जहां तक लग रहा है कि आई थिंक आपका नेटवर्क थोड़ा है मतलब है प्रॉब्लम. बट या कमिंग बैक टू द ऑस्ट्रेलियन इनिंग, जैसा मैं बता रहा था कि भाई डेविड वार्नर, आई थिंक वन ऑफ आवर पीपल हु कम ऑन आवर शो रेगुलरली, उन्होंने डेविड वार्नर को पिक करा था एंड वी मेंशन दैट दैट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ गुड कॉल. इट्स अ बोल्ड call because it's a redemption kind of a thing for him. He is looking out to redeem himself after the failures that he's been having. काफी टाइम से डेविड वार्नर पर परफॉर्म करते हुए नहीं देख रहे थे, लेकिन उन्होंने आई थिंक टॉस से पहले ही बोला था कि आई एम गोइंग टू गो ऑल गन्स ब्लेजिंग. 100 टेस्ट है मेरा. It's time to bring back the old Warner. He said that I want to bring back the old David Warner, which is basically being ferocious and aggressive cricket. तो वो हो रहा था, वो दिख रहा था उनके एंड से कि भाई आज ये बंदा मूड में है खेलने को. आई थिंक उनके अभी 32 रन है जिसमें उन्होंने 3 चौके मार चुके हैं 51 बॉल्स में. सो या ही लुक्स aggressive and he's out there hungry for a century on his 100th test. Obviously that is also another milestone to him, so congratulations to David Warner on that. But hopefully we see that Cricket Australia is dominating, and which only frightens me कि भाई अभी ये लोग इंडिया में आके क्या करेंगे. जिस तरीके से ये लोग साउथ अफ्रीका को तो वाइप करे, फिर वेस्ट इंडीज को वाइप करे, एंड एवरी सीरीज दैट दे जस्ट टेकिंग इट बाय taking one series apart at a time. It really looks amazing कि भाई how Australia are improving day by day. Someone always steps up for them. Let it be Steve Smith, let it be Labuschagne, let it be Travis Head, sometimes Khwaja, sometimes Stark, sometimes Boland. So they have a lot of superstars in this team, and coming to India, we know how how threatening Nathan Lyon will be. So yeah, India really needs to do some preparation before get this politics clear out. Here, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, जो भी politics हो रहा है उनके पास से, I think we really need to sort of sort this out. And make sure that we have a solid core team before the end of January. That's and we really need to get ourselves together. तो ये था भाई ऑस्ट्रेलिया का सिचुएशन. ये है कि अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज ट्रेलिंग बाय 144 रन्स बिकॉज साउथ अफ्रीका 189 ऑल आउट. तो डे 1 का सिनेरियो ये है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया की फर्स्ट इनिंग शुरू हो गई, यानी कि डे 2 को मैं प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा हूँ अगर ज्यादा पिच में चेंजेस नहीं आए एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया बीइंग अकस्टम्ड टू मेलबर्न, प्रॉब्ली ये लोग मार के दे सकते हैं, 350 400 रन भी मार सकते हैं, 300 350 तो आई थिंक आराम से मार लेंगे। जिस तरीके से दे लुक, डेविड वार्नर लुक्स राइट नाउ, ही एंड लैबुशेन अभी पिच पे आ चुके हैं, तो हमें मालूम है कि लैबुशेन की एक आदत है सोने की पिच पे। ही इज गोना टेक हिज स्वीट टाइम टू सॉर्ट ऑफ बिल्ड एन इनिंग्स प्रॉब्ली, एंड बिकॉज लास्ट टेस्ट मैच में भी ज्यादा कुछ कर नहीं पाए थे, तो आई एम प्रीटी श्योर दैट ही विल वांट टू गेट सम रन्स ऑफ दिस मेलबर्न ट्रैक. David Warner again, like I mentioned, aggressive, ready to go. So yeah, Australia can really, if they bat through the whole day or at least 2 sessions, they'll manage to get 300, and it again add pressure on South Africa and try to get South Africa all out. So maybe we could see another test match इधर जो day 3 पे खत्म हो रहा है, और day 4 पे maximum. जिस तरीके से South Africa की बैटिंग है, they really don't look that threatening. They don't look like they're going to be able to pull out a fight or something out of the rabbit's hat. But yeah, hopefully South Africa can mend their ways in the second innings. But for now, I think it's Australia's game in certain context, because Australia are looking very sharp, very strong. Not in the field maybe, but in terms of batting, yeah. Do we have you, Mustafa sir?
Can you hear me now?
Oh my God! Yes, we can hear you, sir. Finally, thank God.
Sorry. Okay. I'm having network issues. I'm not in my house right now. So, but can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. I feel like you're sitting right here.
So yeah, man, you were talking about the South Africa Australia. मैं सुन रहा था, but I completely agree with most of the stuff that you said. The main thing for me was the fielding, Labuschagn's fielding, the run out and the catch. That was outstanding. They dropped a few catches, Australia, if you remember, in between. A bit tough. We could say Nathan Lyon dropped one. Also, Usman Khawaja dropped one. But apart from that, it was more sloppy batting from South Africa. If you see Janssen and Verine, they applied themselves and they got runs on this pitch. It's not the same pitch as the Gabba. Gabba mein pura ghas tha, and it was unplayable deliveries. Yahan pe, if you put value on your wicket, you were getting runs. If someone like a Janssen can stand there and score a 50, despite taking body blows and facing the likes of Cummins and Stark, then the top order, what are they doing? I felt that there was no show from the top order, no application, and that's where South Africa got it completely wrong in this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, see, I was saying the same thing at the beginning of the show, that Dean Elgar had a lot of to talk about when he said, "I'm going to take responsibility for the runs," but we saw him coming out frightened. I saw him that he was like willing to face the deliveries. I don't know why. Maybe the Gabba has
Yeah.
certain memory से नहीं जा रही उसकी, या क्या है कि, but the way he got out, also run out was unfortunate, but like that was brilliant piece of fielding. But he looked very shaky for me. Then Cyril Irby, they all kept falling for that bounce. कि उन लोगों को लगा कि pace आने वाली, they going ahead to play the shot and edging. It's the same. I think apart from the run out, and I think Labuschagn's catch, everything else was in the slip and somewhat in like square fielding.
Outside and off stump, they kept nicking it to Cameron Green.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, why are you getting suckered in? I mean, you're seeing the conditions. You all are experienced cricketer. Why not learn from that mistake that other players are making? And given the stature of your innings right now, I think you were down 4, or you were like something. You were how much? You were 67 for 5 or something. That is when you started pulling up, and that's when once like about 100-run partnership came up between Varane and Mark Jansen. But 5 wickets down, tak people were not able to understand this pitch. It wasn't that rocket science. There were parchments of grass, I would agree, but it wasn't something that threatening that इतना बुरा हाल होना था.
नहीं था. अगर अब वो कंपैरिजन भी दिखाए थे, आई थिंक 7 क्रिकेट वाले दिखाए थे ट्विटर पे. आई सॉ a post where the pitch of the first test and this test, there's a big difference. There's not as much grass. Of course there's a bit of grass, that's why Cummins won the toss. He wanted to bowl for it first, but especially towards the end of the first session, they only lost a wicket. And then they lost 3-4 at the end of that session. That completely changed the whole game. You got off to a start. Even in the first game, they made 20-24 no loss. यहाँ पे भी आपको 20-30 runs मिल गए थे. Then you're 50 for 1. That's a very good start. And now it's about capitalizing, scoring the runs, and not giving your wicket away. Silly running between the wickets, trying to fetch at things. In particular, fine. There's a time when Stark was bowling really well and he made it difficult to score runs. मगर वो time पे थोड़ा सबर रखो, उन्हें निकल जाता है attack से. Stark कितने over डालेंगा? 6-7 से ज़्यादा नहीं डालेंगा एक stretch में. So it's about trying to preserve your wicket and then making hay while the sun shines up. Tomorrow and day after, the pitch is going to be beautiful to bat on. अभी देखो Warner भी आ जाएगा mode में, फिर Labuschagne Smith भी दोनों फोड़ेंगे. It's going to be a bat. I wouldn't say batting paradise, but be a good wicket to bat on now.
Yeah, 100%. And man, like I think yesterday one of our regulars they picked Warner as a fantasy pick, and then we were like, that was a bold move. Kafi, because काफी times so test cricket में नहीं चल रहा था and stuff like that. But 100th test, he came out saying that you're going to see a different Shilomi. The old Warner is coming back, ferocious, aggressive, and that's what I saw. Man, certain four he pulled and he was hitting it nice, a nice cover drive as well. I think that fetched him too. But yeah, he looked in solid shape and solid form. So yeah, do you expect big runs? And what do you think is going to be the situation of day two? Like I'm thinking that they might reach a 300 or 320 if they keep going like this. सेशन टू तक अगर रबाडा एंड नॉट खेल कुछ नहीं करे तो फिर दे कैन बैट द होल डे बट अगर रबाडा नॉट खेल आर पिचिंग इट इन द राइट बिकॉज इवन इफ यू लुक एट द bowlers of South Africa they didn't pitch in the right places. They were looking tired, they looked haggard. I don't know why. You didn't have a lot to do in the first inning. So, I mean, I didn't understand the problem that was happening there. But yeah, what are your expectations with day two?
Yeah, Rabada in particular, he was bowling too short to Warner. He's trying to bounce him out पहले game के जैसा, मगर he has to understand the pitch also. How did Cameron Green? He got most of his wickets pitching full. एक दो wicket he pitched short, but he mixed it up, right? That was a surprise kind of delivery, the short balls that Cameron Green bowled. And Cameron Green, after he got his first wicket, which was a short ball, after that he bowled plenty of short deliveries and he didn't get any purchase or anything from the wicket. Then he resorted back to the full pitch bowling and then he started getting his wicket. So I think Rabada needs to do the same thing. Him and Nokia, first half an hour crucial रहने वाला है because जब आपको थोड़ा सा pitch भी just comes out of the covers and everything, there will be something in it for the bowlers. The ball is still fairly new, I would say. So for first half an hour, 1 hour, if they can pick up Warner, Labuschagne, Smith, these three wickets in the first session, then South Africa in the game. Otherwise, 350, 400, मार मेरे हिसाब से कल. And they probably get a 200, 250 lead, man. That's what I look at right now. If you don't get Labuschagne and Warner in that first session.
Yeah, 100%. Labuschagne की तो we know बुरी आदत है पिच पे सोने की. आज लेटे थे उन्होंने एक कैच के लिए और वो क्या कैच था यार. Labuschagne was something else today on the field. He got that run out. He just looked very agile and ready to go. I know he had a bad, first test, bad नहीं बोलूँगा, but he was not able to make the runs. But I'm pretty sure, knowing his temperament and cricketing nature, I think he's going to go for a lot. He's going to try getting a lot of runs now.
Yeah, no, 100%. He'll make hay while the sun shines. Him, Smith, and Warner. This is 100 Test match, so he wants to probably make the most of it, and he'll definitely make sure that he gets to that 100. That's what I feel.
Yeah, Kyle Varane, man, the only guy who's stepping out for standing out for South Africa in this crunch time, with that opening. But like, why is that the situation right now? Like, I mean, मेरे को तो बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि do you see any other players in that? Not this particular squad, but in the South African. I was thinking of Riley Russo, maybe David Miller. These kind of, I know they're T20 players, but some kind of an experience, something that they could implement. Some players they could get. Do you see anyone coming back to the South African team?
I mean, the thing is, Riley Russo is known to be a T20 specialist, so I don't see him in the test team. But of course, there are players that should come up. I think the likes of Brevis and Stubbs in the future, they need to develop them into test players. They have to definitely, because they have the shots, but it's about getting that temperament and getting the proper defensive structure. Once they get that, then I'm sure they can implement them. But the likes of De Bruyne today, not Kevin De Bruyne, but the one who plays for South Africa, he was pretty disappointing. And Bavuma also is not the same Bavuma. Elgar looks, like you said, he looked kind of scared today. The opening slot as well. Who was it? I forgot his name. But yeah, him as well. Like, it just didn't look up to the mark, and the batting looks very, very weak. I think they do miss Peterson. Someone mentioned last time, yesterday, Peterson agar hai to South Africa will look better, and definitely because he has a good defensive technique and also has the shots. Against India, he was very, very effective. A player like that, I think they can get him. But once he's fully fit, yeah, he will definitely improve South Africa's batting. And in general, they'll have to look at youngsters and sort this out, because abhi jo current batsman hai, काफी weak dikh raha hai. And I'm not even saying you have to score. Even if they score 280, 290, they can be competitive in this series, because they have some world-class bowlers. लेकिन उन लोग वो मार्क को जा रहे नहीं वहाँ पे. In the last game they just needed 200 on the board. I feel they could have won that game if they had like a 150 target. Now they should have got like 280, 300. They couldn't get to that target. They got all out for 180 plus. So it's about getting those runs, and the batsmen have just not been living up to the mark. And their main batsman, Babuma Elgar, also not in form. So that's a worry. That's a big, big sign of worry for South Africa. From an Indian point of view, it's good because if Australia win, it helps them in the World Test Championship. But South Africa will be very disappointed because after a long time, they actually have an extremely good bowling attack. Not after a long time, they always have good bowling attacks, but this is a very lethal one with Rabada, Nokia there. So, and then Jansen brings something different with that left arm angle and everything. So they will
And the
be
height
disappointed.
advantage, yeah, and the height advantage will also give him a lot.
Yeah, और अब देखो यानसन की बैटिंग हमारा सनराइजर कैसा बैटिंग करा उन्हें आज. He took body blows. Cummins hit him, and what South Africa were doing, they were bowling bounces at the body, straight at the body. It wasn't like left or right, leg side, offside. It was straight. So it was affecting the batsman, but he just applied himself. He knows every ball is not going to come hit him there. And when there was a ball to be hit, he hit it. He played the sweep shot really well. I think his reach helps him. He's a tall guy. It's just about applying yourself, and you will get value for your runs on this pitch. It's not the same pitch as the Gabba, like we mentioned.
Yeah. I feel like, the way South Africa's batting is letting, I think that's having a psychological, impact on Rabada and North K. You see the way they were bowling today. नहीं दिख रहा था वो जो रबाडा आया था 80 के कितना 45 रन का टोटल जो मारना था लास्ट इनिंग्स में ऑस्ट्रेलिया को भाई he came out banging. He was getting, though he got a wicket, yes, I see that, he got a wicket, he got Usman Khwaja out and stuff. भाई तू डाल, तेरे को मालूम है कौन सी जगह पे डालना है, तू वहां पे डाल. But आज I think the batting is just letting these bowlers down as well, and they're not able to try to get up and say कि भाई यार हम डालेंगे, because 189 defend करना भाई, I mean defend नहीं करना है यहाँ पे, but आप कैसा करेंगे. But I think they should also have the intensity to sort of prove that if we're not able to bat, we definitely can bowl. But Rabada and not crucial.
I think if they can get like 3-4 early wickets, एक session में 4 wicket अगर ले लिए पहले session में, they can get back into the game because bowling है, like you said, Rabada needs to bowl that line he bowled to Khwaja. उन्हें बहुत short डाल रहा था, Warner पटक के दे रहा था. If you see the way he was bowling to Warner and to Khwaja is two different things, and the reason for that is because उन्हें Warner को short ball पे निकाला था last time. So he's trying to adapt to the same method, but you have to be a bit more proportional. You have to look at the pitch where it's land, or where you think it's more effective to land. And right now, bowling full, like someone like a Cameron Green, who's also extremely tall and gets a lot of bounce, he was pitching it up. So if he's pitching it up, you know exactly where you have to bowl in that corridor of uncertainty, the proper test match line length, thoda sa off stump ke bahar, good length, and make them play. That's what you have to do. And if they do that early on tomorrow, change their lengths a bit compared to today, they can get a few wickets. But it's going to be difficult because इन लोग भी खतरनाक बैट्समैन है जो सामने है और जो आने वाले हैं.
100% खतरनाक तो है भाई. अगर अपन देख ही रहे, अगर अभी वार्नर एंड लाबुशेन है, फिर स्मिथ है, फिर कैमरन ग्रीन, एलेक्स कैरी, पैट कमिंस तक बैटिंग कर लेता है. I think even Mitchell Starc can bat a bit.
Yeah, he'll swing a few as
can
well.
bat a bit, I think. Yeah, so I mean these guys are batting till the depth. But unfortunately, I was saying the same thing, man. South Africa were 179 for 5 in 10 runs. They lost 179 for 6 in 10 runs. They lost 4 wickets, and that was the tail. तो वो भाई वहां तो बैटिंग है, तो मतलब you have only about 5 batsmen who can bat. उसके बाद नैया डूब जाएगी आपकी, So I think that alone shows what amount of pressure and responsibility each batsman has. But the way they were batting today, it didn't seem like they understood that very well.
बिल्कुल वही problem. They don't have batting depth, and the batsmen themselves, the top order is not stepping up. The problem वही है उन लोगों का.
Coming to a few comments here, guys, please do like and subscribe. Your support is value. President Sir Bowler Trucky Lift, thank you for joining us. Yes, I did add the hashtags. I made sure that आज punishment नहीं मिले मेरे को. Definitely मैंने ऐड कराए बिना भूले. ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने तो कसम खाई है कि हम डूबेंगे सनम, तुम्हें भी लेके डूबेंगे. As the pitch looks, ये pitch पे इतना डूबने का नहीं है मुस्तफा भाई. Do you think like what Techie is saying कि pitch का इतना वो तो नहीं था भाई मेरे हिसाब से. But yeah, Mustafa, your comments on that.
या अगर आप देखें डिसमिसल्स भी लाइक उतना नहीं था. इनिशियल थोड़ा मूवमेंट दिखा मेरे को और थोड़ा सा बाउंस था पिच पे, बट इट्स अ रेगुलर लाइक फर्स्ट 1-2 आवर्स इन द एमसीजी. आफ्टर दैट आप देखो डिसमिसल्स कैसे थे. लाइक इट वाज रन आउट, देन कैचेस, एंड देन जस्ट आउटसाइड ऑफ स्टंप ट्राइंग टू फेच not using your feet properly, not leaving the ball at certain times. It was like that. अगर वैसा था तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया भी 3-4 डाउन हो जाते थे अब तक. From what I can see right now, yes, it's not the easiest pitch to, it's not a typical MCG wicket जो flat है और आप like 400-500 मारो. लेकिन at the same time, it's not a pitch where you get 180 all out. I think 280, 300 तक तो जाना था. Like at least between
Yeah.
250 and 280, you should have gone to there. 180 is a bit less on this pitch because of the way Marco Jansen and Varane batted. They showed there is value for runs. You can apply yourself and score runs on this pitch. Whereas वो दूसरा तो like हर बॉल विकेट आ रहा था, अलग था. Like there's a lot of movement. अगर आप कलर भी देखें पिच का, वो बहुत ज्यादा ग्रीन था पहले टेस्ट मैच में. ये जो टेस्ट मैच में you can see brown patches and these patches of green. It's not fully green like that.
Yeah, 100%. And someone was saying also, at the Gaba, we were trying to find the pitch. मतलब हम लोग को दिख रहा ही नहीं था because everything
Yeah.
is so green and it just sort of got camouflaged. But today's pitch is not that green and it has parchments of grass, but इतना भी वो नहीं है. I think थोड़ा inexperience भी है ये squad में, young squad है. I know थोड़ा Zondo है और थोड़े बहुत बच्चे हैं
Yeah,
अभी.
look,
But
like what I realized today, like Rondo, De Bruyne, these guys are they weren't there in that India series. You had Peterson, you had Van der Dusen, you had Klaassen at times. You had different batsmen. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as now. So I think these guys are inexperienced and they're being exposed on these Australian pitches. Although there's not much difference between the Australian and South African pitches, but they are getting exposed.
for people who are getting confused, De Bruyne नहीं है South Africa में. Mustafa is referring to Varane as De Bruyne, I think. But
No, there
yeah,
is in the scorecard. Check on the thing. There's his name is De Bruyne. No, not Varane.
oh yeah,
Varane is
yeah,
different.
अच्छा De Bruyne, yeah, अच्छा Thenu
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I thought you were, I thought Thenu, yeah, okay. I thought मैं वही सोच रहा था ये De Bruyne, अच्छा ये De Bruyne है
No,
मैं
no, I'm
सोच
not
रहा था.
referring to his
Because
haircut.
Premier
The
League
guy's name is De Bruyne.
मैं जाना प्रीमियर लीग वापस आ गया तो मुस्तफा भाई वो भी एडवर्टाइज कर रहे हैं
नहीं
कि
नहीं,
आजकल
De
सीक्रेट
Bruyne
ऑफ
उनका
प्रीमियर
जो
लीग.
batsman है,
हाँ हाँ
like him
हाँ हाँ.
and even Zondo, these guys, they just don't look up to the mark.
Yeah, नहीं मेरे को अभी याद आया जो ग्रीन कैरी को कैच दिया था again, one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kept Tenois in my head, but yeah, I forgot that De Bruyne I didn't factor that in.
yeah.
But yeah, Tekil himself, if you bat well and adjust the shot selection, these pitches not that harmful for batting as Jansen applied their intent is clear. If want to play any shot, then he should go for that shot. Temba looks very weird with his batting, like any tailender is batting. Yeah,
And
100%.
he's looking out of sorts, man. Since the T20 World Cup, he's not looking himself. Against India, he was so good. Like he used to take his time, but then he had the shots as well. His defensive technique was solid. Everything was looking good about him. He knew which ball to leave, which ball to play at. अभी उन्हें ऐसा दिख रहा है कभी भी out हो सकता है. कोई भी ball पे out हो सकता. That extra bounce, he looks uncomfortable with the pace also. So yeah, I agree with Tekil if that he looks out of sorts, man. Temba
And
Bavuma.
Ryan, अगर आप टेम्बा बबूमा के बदवाएं तेरे भाई छोड़ दो बेचारे को. He's in a lot of stress. I know आपको बहुत पसंद है टेम्बा बबूमा, but please उसको गालियां देना बंद करो. But even in the first test, we saw glimpses. 38 मारा था उन्होंने, and he was showing maturity in his defensive approach, and he was getting the odd ball to drive and get a few boundaries. Before he got out, but yeah, he has it in him, but he's just not able to clear his head. अभी तो captain भी नहीं है, so I don't know what's stressing him. Maybe it's just the situation getting the better of him. However, yeah, that is the situation for now with South Africa and Australia, where South Africa all out 189, Australia 144 trailing, Warner on 32, and Labuschagne on 5. So moving to Karachi, Mustafa, this was a very long day, I would say, for cricket. I mean, in the first session, I was like, woof, 115 and only 4 wickets down, 115 runs. भाई उसके बाद जो सो गए भाई मेरे को तो बैटिंग पसंद आई. इनिशियल फर्स्ट हाफ 1 आवर ऑफ बाबर की बैटिंग बहुत प्यारी लगी. क्या शॉट्स मारा था, क्या ड्राइव्स मारा था, स्ट्रेट डाउन द ग्राउंड. यू नेम द शॉट, दिस गाय हैज इट, मैन. दिस गाय इज अ फिनोमिनल प्लेयर. स्पिन बोलो, फास्ट बॉलिंग बोलो, आ जाओ बोलो मैदान में, मैं देख लेता हूँ बोल के था उसका टेम्परामेंट. Yeah, but overall him and सरफराज, the two, the old guard and the new guard, they sort of हाथ मिला के दोनों चले आज. Pakistan finished with 317 for 5, losing Sarfaraz just in the last session के last I think overs में Sarfaraz gave away his wicket to Ejaz bhai. But yeah, apart from that, Mustafa, your thoughts on the match and how do you see Pakistan going tomorrow?
Two things. One is that Babar drop catch was very crucial. आप उसको नहीं छोड़ सकते वैसा. He'll punish you. Beautiful counter attack after that, and he batted really well. लेकिन hats off to the chief selector Shahid Afridi, got it spot on, bro. Sarfaraz is back in the team. I thought कोई chance ही नहीं है उसको वापस आने के लिए. They dropped Rizwan, they picked the Sarfaraz, and this is what I wanted, and we saw why. Sarfaraz, experienced batsman, he plays spin very well. He can rotate the strike, and he's a very good he understands the situation really well. Like he's a very good student of the game. Usko मालूम है क्या situation है, मेरे को कैसा खेलना है. He doesn't go beyond his limits. He plays within his limits, but he's a very smart cricketer, and he knew Babar is counter-attacking. All he has to do is support him at that time, but also make sure that he's not starved off strike. He rotates and gives Babar the strike as well. He batted like a pro, like an expert, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Sarfaraz back in the team, and this is why, because he will perform under pressure. Him and Babar were there. So many times you've seen in that England series, they used to start a counter attack, and then someone gets out, and then Babar gets more under pressure and he loses his wicket. Yahan pe Babar had support, and it was Sarfaraz. I think this is a pure Shahid Afridi call. I know that I still don't agree with the chief selector picking the 11. I still feel that that takes away the power from the captain. Lekin if this is Afridi's call, which I think it is, it's a very
I think we
to the
lost you
table.
again.
I thought he batted magnificently well. I will come to Babar, but before that, it was. I just feel that this guy's experience, this guy's now what he understands about the game and absorbing the pressure. It was brilliant in this situation. Can you hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you, but you're a little. I think we have लेकिन चलते आपकी आवाज तो आ रही. That's what matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, मुस्तफा 3 साल के बाद आप वापस आ रहे हो टेस्ट क्रिकेट में. अगर आप फर्स्ट बाउंड्री देखे, आई थिंक सेकंड बॉल पे मैंने आई लॉस्ट द स्ट्राइक विद द कवर स्ट्रेट डाउन द ग्राउंड 4. उसके मुंह पे जो ही वाज लाइक फंसा था उन्हें, अम्मा चौवा मार लिया भाई मैं. Like he was so pressured, and finally that 4, obviously when you get off the mark with the boundary, it releases immense amount of pressure. But yeah, Sarfaraz overall, bhai, he stood there, though almost got hit.
England
Almost got
series.
hit wicket.
England series में सबको खिलाया, उसको नहीं खिलाई. Of course he would be under pressure because he's not getting chance, and now he got the chance. If he messes up, that's it. His career is over. That's how he is feeling. That's how it looked like he was feeling. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so that's why that relief was there when he hit the boundaries, and unlucky not to get 100. I felt that he deserved 100. But yeah, speaking of Babar Azam, class innings, man. He got the chance, he made the most of it. But excellent batting, the way he got to his 100, beautiful shot. And yeah, Babar is a world-class test batsman. He's really good. I know T20 cricket में his runs नुकसान पहुंचा देते पाकिस्तान को कभी-कभी, लेकिन test cricket, one-day cricket, Babar is a very, very good player, especially in home conditions. So he's outstanding. He pierces the gap really well. Very good timing. Can rotate the strike. Very confident in his abilities. And he's still batting. He can score a double 100 easily tomorrow if he gets through the first half now.
100%. When I look at the, when I was looking at the beginning of this, test match, 48 for 3 पे, फिर 110 पे 4 हो गए. पिच टर्न कर रहा था शुरू में, ऑब्वियसली मॉइस्चर था, एंड विद द डे प्रोग्रेसिंग थोड़ा ड्राई हो जाता पिच. बट एजाज पटेल, ब्रेसवेल, दे मेड अ लॉट आउट ऑफ द व्हाटएवर लिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ हेल्प दे वर गेटिंग फ्रॉम द पिच. उसके बाद मेरे को क्या लगा भाई, टिम साउदीज कॉल्स वर नॉट दैट ग्रेट. they were not pitching the ball correctly. हर चीज down the leg जा रही थी. The balls that they tried around the wicket, tried over the wicket, but just those New Zealand pacemen were not able to pitch the ball in the right spot. Do you think that's in terms of Tim Southee's, the way he rotated his bowler, or how do you feel that Tim Southee did, and your thoughts on the paceman?
Yeah, I think there were some issues with the rotation of bowlers, but for me, mainly it was with the new ball and there was a moisture in the pitch. You're getting that extra bounce and extra a bit of zip and turn as well. So they're making the most of it. Then as the pitch got slower, I think also the bowlers, should have been a bit, try different things. They were being a bit too, what do you call it? Like
similar, yeah.
Yeah,
Similar
similar.
approach.
Like they were going in the same rhythm. They were trying to do the same thing. I think they should have done a bit different captaincy as well. Maybe stick in a spinner from one end, fast bowler from the other end. Back your spinners a bit more. Sadi bowled 20 plus overs. Like, and not much reward for that. And also, one major thing I saw is that the New Zealand bowlers didn't have enough pace. If you
Yeah,
compared them to England, Mark Wood had
exactly. I was going
pace,
to come to that. Yeah.
Robinson had pace, यहाँ पे pace नहीं था. Even Anderson was bowling like a bit quicker than Sati. That's what I feel. So Wagner, even though I feel Wagner is someone who's quick, he can rush the batsman with the short deliveries and stuff, but that pace was lacking from New Zealand. So that was one thing. As the ball gets older, to get it to reverse, you need thoda sa extra speed, and wo missing tha. So they did the most of what they could with the new ball, and they picked up the wickets. But as the ball got older, they just lacked that pace, and they're
Yeah.
very, bowling in one position, one style of bowling, and it
Yeah.
just looked very repetitive.
Yeah, and they didn't like even show any kind of an innovation in their technique. They just said, "Okay, bhai, we'll go what we know." Like you said, Mark Wood, Ollie Robinson, bhai, they were hitting the deck. They were short ball डाल रहे थे. कुछ तो भी कर रहे थे, trying to extract some kind of a
पेस भी थे
action.
नहीं उनकी, तेज थे. इन लोग के
हाँ,
पास वो पेस नहीं है. सती और
पेस
वैगनर
भी
के पास वो
थी.
पेस नहीं था.
हाँ, पेस भी था, बट ऐसा भी कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट करो भाई. या तो आप रूम नको दो बैट्समैन को, कीप बॉलिंग टाइप यॉर्कर लेंथ डालो, कुछ तो भी ट्राई करो, इनोवेट करो. बट आई थिंक फ्रॉम सेशन 2 आफ्टर साउथ शकील टू सेशन 3 के हाफ तक भाई, इट वाज द सेम मैच. इट वाज लाइक आई वाज वाचिंग अ नेट सेशन कि भाई आ
Yeah.
रहा है, डाल रहा है, चले जा रहा है. आई थिंक एजाज पटेल अलोन bowled 27 overs, and he was बेचारा, he tried a lot. And just before that, end of the third session, he managed to get Sarfaraz Ahmed, which was obviously sad to see because if
वो
he
भी
made a
न्यू बॉल
100,
ही
it would
था.
be
That was with the new ball only. The second new ball.
exactly. Yeah, and they were waiting for it. उन्होंने बस न्यू बॉल का वेट कर रहे थे कि भाई थोड़ा बहुत परचेस मिलेगा हमारे को, थोड़ा टर्न मिलेगा, थोड़ा ड्रिफ्ट होगा. And yeah, that was phenomenal. Tekalif says application shown by top order from Pakistan was very poor. If you know that there is spin, then just need 100%. Yaro, when I see the wicket of
Yeah.
Shan Masood, when I see the wicket of Abdullah Shafiq, it's similar.
बस
It's
स्टंप
just
हो
a
जा
left
रहे
hand.
थे. So
When you know that new ball is going to drift, when you just played England in that series and you saw what Rehan Ahmed or what other guy, what's his name, Leach did to you, then why would you go ahead and come out of your crease? Just stay. Why? इतनी early of the hour आपको मारने की क्या जल्दी है? आपको heavy नाश्ता करके आए, जलाने का है वो नाश्ता, क्या था
पैच
आपको?
बॉल
Like I
खेलना
didn't.
चाह रहे थे.
हाँ, बट मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आया. लाइक हाउ डू यू सी, एंड देन यू से कि भाई इमाम उल हक को खिलाओ, शान मसूद को खिलाओ, कहाँ है ये लोग? बट जब मौका मिल रहा है आपको ऐसी पिच पे जो आपको मालूम है ड्राई होने वाली है, 1-2 घंटों में फिर धूप निकलेगी और कुछ तो भी होगा, फिर क्यों करना है?
Yeah, no, मतलब I agree with that. थोड़ा सा बहुत ओवर एक्साइटेड हो गए इंग्लैंड को देख के, बास्केटबॉल खेलना है एंड स्टफ, बट दे वर गेटिंग स्टफ. मैं भी लाइक ऐसा लाइक आंखें को मल ले रहा था, क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, एकदम से कहीं को आगे बढ़ के खेल ले रहे. एंड दे वन द टॉस, एवरीथिंग वाज इन देयर फेवर. यू बैटिंग फर्स्ट इन सब कॉन्टिनेंटल कंडीशंस, एंड दे मेड द सेम मिस्टेक अगेंस्ट इंग्लैंड, राइट? दे लॉस्ट टू मेनी विकेट्स. यहाँ पे सरफराज बचा दिया मेरे हिसाब से, एंड ऑफ कोर्स बाबर आल्सो प्लेड अ वंडरफुल इनिंग्स, आउटस्टैंडिंग नॉक. लेकिन अदरवाइज दे कुड हैव been in a very bad position if Babar's catch was taken, and then the pressure would have been in Sarfaraz in the lower order. I don't think they would have made this kind of score. So they've gotten a bit lucky. They've gotten a chance, and now they have to make the most of it. But I completely agree with Takil. If उन लोगों का जो
Short
क्या बोलते
selection.
so top
Short.
order has to be much more responsible. 100%.
Yeah.
Winning
And
man,
also, yeah, Vinesh Bhai says, Vinesh Bhai happy says hello, great to see Saifi Bhai. I'm saying great to see Vinesh Bhai. Vinesh Bhai, Saifi Bhai, sorry, Vinesh Bhai says hello, great to see Saifi Bhai. I'm a big fan of his captaincy, not batting, but any day I can pick Saifi over Rizwan and Test. New Zealand don't have pace. They really heavily on
exactly
spin.
what
Yes,
he said.
that's what we're talking about. That's what we were talking about, Vinesh Bhai. Thank you for joining. But yeah, I've been sort of brand ambassadoring, I think, Sarfaraz for like the last month, because I was fed up of Rizwan since the T20 World Cup. He has not been performing a test mein, he has bilkul not performing. He is performing a test role in T20 and a T20 role in a test. So that is what's been happening with Rizwan lately, and I think it's correct. थोड़ा बहुत दर्द हुआ होगा भाई, वाइस कैप्टनसी बना के हमारे को बिठा दिए, बट आई थिंक लाला में द राइट कॉल. लाला इमीडिएटली, सॉरी लाला शाहिद अफरीदी भाई इमीडिएटली डे खत्म होते कि उनका ट्विटर पे आ गया, या प्राउड ऑफ द बॉयज बोल के. तो या
Yeah, 100%. अभी तो उन्होंने पूरा इन्वॉल्व है, उन्होंने क्रेडिट लेंगे पूरा. लेकिन I really tip my hat off to Sarfaraz. I think the way he batted, especially whatever he's gone through the last few years, been just abandoned after being one of Pakistan's most successful captains, especially winning that Champions Trophy and getting them to the first position in T20s. He made Pakistan compete again and everything while they were going through a debacle, and they didn't have all these players that they have now. So to see him back and taking Pakistan from a hole and into a strong position, I'm really happy to see that. And at the same time, of course, I have to credit Babar, man. Babar has just played some crazy uh, shots.
Yeah,
Vinesh
Babar
bhai, kuch
has.
suggest kar rahe.
Vinesh bhai says, please arrange show for your viewers. 100% Vinesh bhai, just let us know what time you're available, all of you, and we'll definitely want each one of you to meet you guys. Vinesh bhai, Rakil, Chirag bhai, all of you guys, we can definitely join on the show. Mustafa bhai and me will definitely love to have you guys on the show because we really admire your comments, and आप लोग जो knowledge है probably मेरे से तो बहुत ज़्यादा होंगी, क्या बोलते हैं मुस्तफा भाई? But yeah, 100% I think always so
No,
happy
of
to
course,
see you guys.
we'll do like a special show. We get all them on and we'll discuss something, either IPL or something to do with the team of the year. We'll
Yeah.
decide something. But of course,
I
these
think
guys are much more.
I think the topic is decided. Scale Rahul and
KL
what
Rahul.
about you?
इन लोगों के पास हमारे से ज्यादा तो है नॉलेज. हम लोग तो मतलब अपना ओपिनियन देते. They have a lot of knowledge. इन लोग क्रिकेट सुबह शाम पीते खाते पूरा क्रिकेट है. And we learn from you guys as well. And we're just like a platform to help give you, so you can share your views with us. You can vent out. You can give your opinion and just have fun talking cricket. वो यही है, right? And we can talk about other things if you want also. लेकिन we just given you guys a platform to come and talk, and we also express our opinions. We love watching cricket as well. So instead of just talking at home with each other, we just want to talk with everybody who's available at the same time. So that's the main key about this show.
Yeah, and speaking about love cricket that much that we were watching Babar Azam bat in such a मतलब भाई he was so actually मतलब if you see 50 जो है लिया 76 बॉल में मारा है और लेकिन उसके बाद भाई बस
तुम्हारे को
लेकिन
नींद तुम्हारे को बोर कर दिया आज बाबर.
मैं गनी मेरी जान सोना नहीं कर रहा था नहीं सोया. I really loved his shot. There were some shots that he played phenomenally यार, like his drives, on drives जो मार रहा था, leg side ज्यादा मारा on if you see. He was batting more on the leg. बहुत प्यारा खेला.
उसमें भी बहुत प्रेशर था बाबर पे. लाइक स्पेशली 3-0 होम सीरीज हारे. ठीक है फाइनल तक पहुंचे मगर वो भी हार गए थे. तो प्रेशर आ रहा था मीडिया से और हर जगह से. स्पेशली पाकिस्तान इज स्प्लिट आई फील 50-50 व्हेन इट कम्स टू बाबर्स कैप्टेंसी. तो देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर ऑन हिम एंड द फैक्ट दैट ही स्कोर्ड सो बिग एंड he'll probably help Pakistan win this test match. It gives him some breathing space. Unfortunately, that's how it is in India. Pakistan is a very cutthroat system. If you fail a few games, and especially as captain, if you're now winning games for your country, then thoda sa axe mil jata jaldi. So for Babar, it was a huge innings.
Yeah, thoughts on Ish Sodhi. We see the likes of Abrar Ahmed. We see the likes of who else? Leg spinner Rehan Ahmed. These guys were getting purchased on wickets, man. This guy pulled 10 overs only and he didn't look that great. Like his line and length and as a leg spinner could have been better. Didn't she mix it up? Ish Sodhi didn't look that great to me. What are your thoughts on Ish Sodhi, man?
Yeah, the thing was, I haven't seen him play as much Test cricket. Maybe I could be wrong, but like even when they were going to India and stuff, there was more Ejaz Patel, Mitchell Santon, and these guys bowling. Bracewell bowls. Sodhi, I haven't seen him in the Test team, so I think with the red ball, he's not as effective. Maybe he needs to get more games to understand what his best line and length is and how to turn the ball on day one with the red ball. Maybe he doesn't have the understanding. In T20 one-day cricket, he's brilliant. He knows exactly what to do. He knows where to pitch it. He knows how to get his wickets. But here, you have to turn the ball as well because आपको वो deep में catches हर वक्त नहीं मिलेंगे. Test matches में you have to play the patient game. Also, you have to be a bit more quicker through the air. I feel थोड़ा सा flight कर रहा था और या तो उन्हें बहुत ज़्यादा quick होके short हो जा रहा था. So it was just about adjusting to the red ball game for me, and I think it'll take him some time. But I agree with you. I wasn't too impressed with his spell either.
The 11 that you have selected, do you agree with that, or would you have any slight of change, like in terms of bringing like a Matt Henry or a Blair Tickner or someone like that? Do you think those kind of fast bowlers with maybe I think Matt Henry?
Yeah, they need pace, bro. If Ferguson was available, they should have just put him in the team, in the squad. They should have brought him to Pakistan. They need that type of bowler. They need that extra pace. Wagner का pace थोड़ा कम हो गया मेरे हिसाब से. उन्हें न्यूजीलैंड में तो तेजदार था, bouncers ये वो करता था, मगर slow हो गया उन्हें. They need an express pace bowler. I'm not.
Has Trent Bolt retired? No, right, from Test cricket.
No, but he's the freelance now, right? He's given preference to T20 leagues and all that. There's going to be few T20 leagues coming, so उसको भी preference नहीं देंगे New Zealand cricket unless it's big tournaments, and he'll also not give preference because there's going to be a South Africa league coming, and Dubai League. He's going to be playing in that.
Vinesh Bhai said he's slowly
Yeah,
bored
this is
because
it.
he's played about 18 matches. Yeah, I was just checking that up, and
So
he's
that's it,
probably
right?
rather.
I also didn't see him in the Red Ball for so long. So Vinesh Bhai is giving us the exact date. So it's a long time. It's been what 4+ years now. So that's the thing. I think you saw that difference in this game. They normally play. I've seen Ajaz Patel, Santner, Bracewell. These guys play. I haven't seen Ishodi, and you know why now. And it's just about adjusting to that red ball. Sometimes leg spinners who bowl brilliantly in one-day cricket, they're not as effective in Test cricket. Like someone like Adil Rashid, he retired from Test cricket very early. He just felt maybe he won't be as effective, or maybe he wasn't getting picked. It could be a different story. Like there are leg spinners who are a different bowler in the white ball game compared to red ball. Maybe Ishodi is one of those, or it might just be that it takes some time to get used to the red ball.
Yeah, Vinesh Bhai says I woke up early morning, but South Africa disappointed with their performance. Yeah, 100% is nothing. But what about Rabada? What was he doing? No line, no length. Yes, exactly what we've been discussing, Vinesh Bhai. We were also disappointed. 189 is not some kind of a target or like a first innings target that you give on a pitch like this. It was not as wayward or as tricky as the Gabba. And Rabada looked very haggard for no reason, despite being the second team to bowl. His line and length was off. उस्मान ख्वाजा को जो बॉल डाला, अगर वो कंटिन्यूसली वो एरिया में रफ पैच में डालता था, maybe he would have got some purchase. But yeah, Mustafa also pointed out that short ball say he picked up Warner, which is what he was trying to implement with Warner, but he went with a different tactic for Usman. So yeah, Mustafa, again it comes back to Rabada and the batting performance for Vinesh Bhai as well.
Yeah, the batting performance was poor, and Rabada also no line length because he was trying to get one out like he did in the last game. He felt that the pitch probably has the same amount of bounce, same amount of nip as the Gabba, but it wasn't the case. And Warner was
Oh, we lost connection again on Mustafa Bhai. But yeah, Mustafa was saying the same thing that Warner looked in good nick, but yeah, Rabada completely losing his line and length. Speaking of line and length, I'm just gonna go ahead and update everybody about the BBL. We had two matches today, mind you. At Zabardast tha second wala Perth versus Adelaide, but I'm gonna first go to the first match with the Melbourne Stars versus the Sydney Sixers. Melbourne scored 150 runs. वहाँ पे Bear Webster had smashed a 78 out of 51 balls, जहाँ पे चार चौके और तीन छक्के मारे उन्होंने. जबरदस्त he sort of came back and provided Melbourne the redemption that they needed, because they were 85 for 4 at one stage and 144 तक लाके उसने जब उसका विकेट गया तो it was 144 and they made 150. He didn't care. Pick up the bowler for the pick up the bowler for Sydney Sixers. He managed to get 2 wickets for 26 runs. Then Sydney came on to bat, and uske baad I think they took the game very easily from the Melbourne Renegades. Sorry, Melbourne Stars. 50 from the captain Moises Henriquez. We know him from the IPL as well, Moises Henriquez, and what he's capable of doing. So 52 runs मारा उन्होंने, जिसमें चार चौके दो छक्के मार रहे, और उनके साथ जॉर्डन सिल्क, a phenomenal fielder जो जबरदस्त कैचेस ले रहा है डीप में. So yeah, this was that कि भाई Sydney Sixers won by 7 wickets with 5 balls remaining. And coming to the second match of the day, जो आदिल रशीद की टीम है, Adelaide Strikers versus Faf du Plessis की टीम जो Perth Scorchers है. Adelaide Strikers looked very shaky in the beginning. 4 for 82 था. 4 wickets for 82 runs थे उधर. कोई ज़्यादा परफॉर्मेंस नहीं कर पाया. 130 पे completely bamboozled हो गए by Perth Scorchers की bowling बेहतरीन थी. Pick of the bowlers थे Ashton Agar, यहाँ पे 4 overs उन्होंने खाली 22 runs देके 1 wicket लिया. And then Perth came out to bat, जो surprising था मेरे लिए, because ये मैच देख रहा था मैं, और फटाफट 3 wicket for 17 runs चले गए थे इन लोगों के. And it looked like a very bad show from Perth कि Perth हार जाने वाली है शायद. And they're already coming from a loss. एक loss पहले के मैच में हो चुका है इनका. फिर 4 for 48 जॉश इंग्लिश जो लास्ट मैच में भी I think 70 odd runs मारा था उन लोगों के लिए, जबरदस्त खेल रहा है. But he also failed to do anything. देन आता है एस्टन टर्नर. भाई एस्टन टर्नर ने 48 रन मारे 38 बॉल्स में. 3 चौके मारा है, 2 सिक्स मारा है. स्ट्राइक रेट 126 कुछ थी उसकी. और जाय रिचर्डसन जो अभी हाल में हम देख रहे हैं कि काफी अच्छा खेल रहा है, काफी अच्छा प्रदर्शन हो रहा है. 18 रन मारे उन्होंने आके, दोनों ने पार्टनरशिप करके. दे somehow managed to get Perth over the line and they won by 3 wickets with 15 balls remaining. I think the over from Henry Thornton was very expensive. Henry Thornton हालांकि काफी इकोनॉमिकल बॉलर रह चुके हैं हैं ये BBL में. 4 overs 46 2 wickets लिए हालांकि, but he gave 46 runs away. राशिद खान was pick of the bowlers, 4 overs 15 runs. उन्होंने तो अपना काम कर दिया जहाँ पे रन रोकना या विकेट लेना है. But it was a phenomenal thing. अगर हम टेबल के तरफ जा रहे हैं बिग बैश की, तो अभी एडलेड स्ट्राइकर स्टिल बिकॉज ऑफ दैट 15 रन का जो विक्ट्री हुआ था, उनको जो 15 ऑल आउट करा था, फॉर बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे स्टिल हैव अ गुड net run rate. But Perth is at 6 points. Melbourne Renegades also at 6 points. So the top three are at 6, but Adelaide is leading this right now. And it's going to be just interesting to see कि आगे क्या होता है. A lot of things to come up. And yeah, that was the story from the BBL. Babar just needs to play good tour in Sena. If he performs well there, then sure, yeah, 100%. We can see him in the Fab Four if he continues to perform. The Saab Bole, he has been phenomenal and he has a very good batting record. But yeah, thoda bahut agar he plays a good tournament there, then he will be able to come into the Fab Four. Babar ka lekin aaj Vinesh bhai, what are your thoughts on his, the way he came out with that mindset? Already I think he lost 3 wickets when he came in. काफी एक पूरी प्रदर्शन थी पाकिस्तान के टॉप ऑर्डर, जैसे हम डिस्कस कर चुके थे विद द लाइक्स ऑफ अब्दुल्ला शफीक, इमामुल हक. मैं तो काफी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था अब्दुल्ला शफीक से, बट व्हेन यू गो अहेड एंड कमेंट प्ले दैट काइंड ऑफ बॉल ऑन शुरुआत के एक घंटे के प्ले के अंदर आप टर्निंग एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो, ड्रिफ्ट एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो, आप आके वो कर देते हो. बट देन बाबर कमिंग इन 3 for 48 पे जो 3 for 48 था स्कोर, he comes in and he and Sarfaraz together put a 196 run partnership. भाई मजाक नहीं है. जो भी इल्जामात थे in terms of captain, past captain, present captain, शायद लड़ाया है, शायद पॉलिटिक्स है, जरा कुछ नहीं दिखा. They both looked very understanding. I know Babar gave away a catch almost to Daryl Mitchell, which he must be hitting his head around. But yeah, काफी रिसेंट अगर अपन टेस्ट क्रिकेट देख रहे हैं, काफी चीजें देखने को मिल रही है भाई. There is always that one catch that is being dropped in test cricket that is causing a lot of damage, and एक जार के partnership बन जा रही है वहाँ पे. We saw that in India Bangladesh, we saw that in Pakistan England, we saw that in Australia South Africa, we saw that in Australia West Indies. So a lot of places where we're seeing that catches being dropped and not being able to capitalize on that catch, and वहाँ पे बहुत भारी पड़ जा रही. Similar situation here where we saw Babar coming out, where he was almost dropped like a 10 or something, and now he's at 161 runs of 277 balls. He's there since the first session. He's played too much यारो. I think first session के शुरुआत से लेके end of the session तक आप रहना, end of the test match तक रहना. I think 70-60 overs तक he was standing out there in the heat. Credit to Babar and credit to सरफराज 3 साल के बाद आए. what a redemption. First boundary straight down the ground, first या second ball पे था. He was off the strike with the 4. He went with उफ बोल के उन्होंने पूरा जितने समस्या थे पूरे रिलीज कर दी उसमें, वो गैस लेके के भाई मैं बच गया, थैंक गॉड मैंने चौवा मार दिया. And hopefully we get to see more of Sarfaraz in the future. I think he should not be dropped based on this performance. Again, there is a second inning. We have to see Pakistan's bowling, we have to see New Zealand's batting, and I'm very excited to see Devon Conway, Conway and Kane Williamson, how they're going to bat on this pitch. काफी interesting लगने वाला है. If you have seen England series, you will see that Babar's strike rate in test was quite good and carrying his aggressive mindset in New Zealand. Yeah, that is what it will broom your confidence. I'm happy to see that Vinesh bhai, that he didn't get sidetracked, he didn't get sort of mind boggled because of the comments in the media. और इंग्लैंड में 3-0 एट होम वाइट वॉश के बाद आके ऐसा पारी खेलना बहुत बड़ी बात है. एज अ कैप्टन इट शोज रिजिलियंस, इट शोज दैट आई एम हियर टू स्टिक, आई एम हियर टू sort of मैं बताने को आया हूँ कि भाई ये मेरी टीम है, ये मेरे कंट्री है या मेरा घर है, और इसका भी एडवांटेज उठाऊंगा मैं. एंड दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड थिंग. आई थिंक ही इज हैंडलिंग इट वेरी correctly. Batting is a personal thing, and the captaincy obviously both are professional at the end of the day, but batting is more of a personal thing, a personal objective. Captaincy is the more professional objective. So I think I like the way he's splitting it out and sort of carrying his mindset and in terms of batting and with that aggressive approach that you mentioned, because he did have an aggressive intent. 50 runs in 76 balls. Then obviously he had to slow down the tempo because of the wickets that were falling, and also he gave away a few chances. Sarfaraz का hit wicket होते होते बचा. सरफराज फिर 26 पे एक रिव्यू भी हुआ था जो ही वाज वेरी श्योर दैट इट हिट द साइड ऑफ हिज टी शर्ट. काफी ड्रामा हुआ बीच में, बट या he understood the tempo, he knew how to build it up and then bring it down, and then now he's in a very controlled and dominant thing. He's read the pitch like a book. याद कर लिया उन्होंने कि कौन सी जगह कहाँ मारना है मुझे, and he's certainly getting a lot of purchase from this wicket, and happy to see that. I do respect him as a batsman. He's very, very good. But yeah, only time will tell कि captaincy का भी question आएगा या नहीं आएगा. All on this New Zealand. If again New Zealand manage to get a win or two wins out of this Test series, then it will be a very tough time as a captain for Babar. Batting wise, I think nobody will ever question him again, based on this innings at least. But yeah, that's the situation from the Pakistan and New Zealand series, that we see that Pakistan are 317 for 5. At one stage they were 48 for 3. Then they were 110 for 4 where they lost South Shakil. Then a 196 run partnership from Sarfaraz Ahmad, the former captain and current captain Babar Azam, with 161 to his name, and Sarfaraz getting out just before the dying embers of the day. So that was 86 runs pe he gave a catch to Mitchell. Mitchell finally redeemed himself for the drop that he made against Babar. I don't think वो redeem होगा. I don't think वो जो चोट हुई उसके घाव भर सकेंगे. But yeah, definitely he managed to take the catch of Sarfaraz. And now we have Aga Salman and Babar to bat from tomorrow onwards. So yeah, that is the story from there. BBL का भी हो चुका है, हम कवर कर चुके हैं. For people who are tuning in, who are football fans, Premier League वापस आ चुका है. आज बॉक्सिंग डे है तो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग मैचेस होंगे. एक टाइम पे मोस्टली पूरे मैचेस बताए जाते हैं. आई थिंक टॉटनहम वर्सेस ब्रेंटफोर्ड का भी मैच खत्म हो चुका है, जहाँ पे टॉटनहम 2-0 डाउन थे अगेंस्ट ब्रेंटफोर्ड एंड टॉटनहम केम बैक टू 2-2. And that finished the game on 2-2, and they managed to get a point after being down 2-0. अभी चल रहा होगा मैच. आई थिंक लिवरपूल का भी मैच है आज. कल होगा मैच यूनाइटेड का मैच. सो या प्रीमियर लीग भी वापस आ चुका है, क्रिकेट भी वापस आ चुका है. वर्ल्ड कप का फीवर थोड़ा थोड़ा डाउन होगा और प्रीमियर लीग का फीवर वापस आएगा. We have a lot of cricket that will be coming in from tomorrow to see. So for now, I think Mustafa Bhai has some technical issue due to which he will not able to join us back. But Vinesh Bhai, definitely taking your suggestion कि हम लोग डेफिनेटली कुछ एपिसोड प्लान करेंगे जहाँ पे आप, चिराग भाई, all the people who come and comment will definitely be able to have a bashing session together. Thank you for joining us, Techie Live. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the hashtag reminders always and the support that you provide us. But for now, this has been Chasing the Target. I have been Faiz, and Mustafa also was here, but unfortunately due to technical issue, he will not there. See you guys same time, same place, hopefully, or time we'll see. But yeah, definitely the cricket goes on, and hopefully we do too. Till then, take care and have a nice day.